Hey guys, so before we start this video, we're gonna play the drinking game. So you're gonna take a shot every time I say plank of wood. Um, so this is a streamer. Never seen her. I saw this video a couple days ago, and I was like, okay, I have to talk about this at some point because this is hilarious. Um, Again, I don't know the streamer's name. I don't care. She seems to be just one of those generic streamers who basically just sit on camera with their assets showing, no real personality whatsoever. But I'm gonna let her kind of explain things for a second, and then we'll pick up from there. So,
Wow, some excitement for Planky. You know what really hurts my feelings sometimes? Can I be honest? Sometimes when I go to the bathroom and I come back and I put Planky out, my viewership goes up 30 to 50 viewers when there is a plank of wood here. And then the second that I unmute the mic and I sit back down in the chair, it drops like 70. This is a thing that I have noticed. Why do you guys legitimately prefer a plank of wood? A plank of wood more than you prefer me. Wow.
I know. I really should have said every time you hear plank of wood. So if you, it's only a minute in, so every time you hear plank of wood, you take a shot. But okay, so she said plank of wood like how many times? I said plank of wood how many times already? So that's what, 6, 7, 8 shots at this point. I'm sorry. You're probably just completely drunk at this point, and I'm sorry. You're probably not even understanding a single word I'm saying anymore because it just sounds all like this. So the rest of it's gonna be like plank of wood. Um, so this young woman wants to know why her viewers prefer a literal plank of wood compared to her. Well, let's examine it, shall we? Um, as I said, I don't know this person, but just based on what I'm seeing, generic streamer. The girl, like Pokimane, or any one of those other the streamers who really don't bring anything to the table. They just think because they're attractive and have, out that they're gonna get viewership. Um, and they have no real personality. No real personality to speak of. And in a sense, they are a plank of wood. Or a cutout or something. So these guys, because I'm sure it's mostly guys, because obvious reasons, um, these people, these guys, would prefer an actual plank of wood as opposed to her, because at least this, that smile, his little, at least that's some personality. She doesn't seem to have much personality apart from, sitting there talking, streaming, having her out, um, and there. If you want to be recognized as a streamer or a YouTuber or content creator or influencer, I hate that word because it's like, influencing, come on. I know there's some people who do try to influence me. I'm just making videos. Um, but when you want to do that, you have to stick out. If you're just like every other girl on Twitch who just sits there in revealing clothing and just has no personality, I mean, there's plenty of girls like that to choose from. You could go from her to another girl just like her, and it's like basically watching the same person. So you need something to separate yourself. So when you have a plank of wood that's just, even more interesting than you are, that's kind of saying something. You need personality. You need to stick out as a creator. That's why I'm not that big on here, because I don't stick out. There's really not much I can do that hasn't been done already. I mean, while I try to have a wide array of things, reactions, videos like this, videos where I just talk into the camera, video game stuff, it doesn't grow because, you could still find any of that kind of content on other creators' channels. I don't stick out. So, um, I know that. So it's not like, well, you're not that. I know I'm not that interesting because, I started late. There's so many more people who are just like me. So but she doesn't seem to understand that you need a personality to stick out. Now people are like, oh yeah, like with the cats, they're like, oh John, you're such a great person. Yeah, great. People aren't gonna watch me because I'm nice to cats. You know, but when you have a plank of wood and you get more viewers, like she said, what 30 to 50 viewers, and then she goes down by like 70 when she comes back. Maybe you need to do more than just sit in front of the camera with your, or playing a mind-numbing game. It's like basically, it's like she can go on and start playing Candy Crush. Be like, oh, I'm a gamer. Actually, let me see if I can find this woman. Hang on. All right, so her name is Squidinkidink. She doesn't have many videos, it seems. Um, let's see. Recent broadcasts. View all. Yeah, I mean, she looks like she streams something, but you can see right there. Um, so not bringing, like I said, not bringing a whole lot to the table, not doing something that's never been seen before or something that separates her from other streamers is just a basic, typical, generic streamer. So the fact that people are preferring a literal plank of wood over her. I mean, I've said before, people, you guys probably find Sam more interesting than you find me. And that's fine, because I've flat out said, I'm not that interesting of a person. I'm really not. I acknowledge that I'm boring as hell, and people would rather probably watch Sam. But, I'm not in denial about that. I accept it, and I already know it. She's like figuring out, like, oh, why? Why are people not watching me? Why are people more interested in a plank of wood? Well, because you have the personality of a plank of wood. And that if that's the case, people would just rather watch a plank of wood. Planky has better content and better things to say than some streamers. Some streamers you hear talk and you're like, I understand why there's no viewers. I mean, they both have the same personality. Exactly. Exactly. You know, I was going to say Plank has more than her. No, they're about the same, but that's pathetic. That's pathetic. Um, are you done? Can we see Planky? Uh, why she removed Planky to put herself in front of the camera? She's a fraud. Yeah, Plank. Maybe because a plank of wood doesn't complain about the number of viewers. Who is this? The wood has more personality. The plank has more personality than she does because you boring and uninteresting. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, you could take her out, leave Planky, but take her out and insert any other generic female streamer. You wouldn't even notice a difference. You just like me. You could take me out of the room, have Sam back there, take me out of the room and insert me with some other random generic YouTuber. Never even know the difference. Because I mean nowadays, I understand nowadays it's hard to stay relevant or, stay out there. I don't have a bunch of fancy software to edit and make my videos look nice and flashy and stick out like that. I don't have time to sit there do interesting thumbnails for the videos, and I don't have time. So there's really no way I can stick out. You know, Even by having a diverse amount of content, it doesn't help because there's already 50 million other channels doing the exact same thing. So, but on Twitch, where you're sitting there for long periods of time trying to get viewers, You need to do something. You know, you can't just be an attractive female with your tits out and hope that you're gonna get viewership. You know, and when people find that you have no personality and that they prefer an actual plank of wood to you, you need to kind of question and say, okay, well, why? So, but yeah, people are preferring a plank of wood over her because she's just a generic streamer. There's nothing about her that separates her. She dresses that like them. She looks like them. So it's. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm just saying she has the personality of a plank of wood. So I mean, obviously, hope for the wish her the best in her future endeavors if she wishes to continue as a streamer. But if you're questioning why they prefer Planky over you, it's because you're just not that interesting. You know, again, you can take her out and put in some generic streamer, you'll never know the difference. So if you truly do want to be a streamer, if you do have a passion for streaming, you need something to separate yourself from the other streamers. I know, actually, here's an idea. How about just dressing nicely? Instead of having your tits out, why don't you just dress? Then you'll really see who people are, if they're there for you or if they're there for how you look. Wear a nice dress, an actual dress that covers everything up and see what happens. You want to stick out compared to other female streamers? Cover up rather than exposing everything. See if that works. Like I said, it'll show for the ones who are thirsty and the ones who aren't. Because the guys right now, they see that low-cut shirt and they're like, oh yes, boobies. So cover them up. See what happens. Obviously, I've got no problem with boobs. Boobs are amazing. But if you're a streamer, you're a female streamer, and every other female streamer has their freaking tits out, try doing the opposite. How about putting them away and see what happens? But yeah. A plank of wood has more viewers than she does. The minute she comes back on, whoop, goes down. Just like everyone's wood. It's like, can you leave? I've got a hard on right now for Planky. Anyway, that's it. That's it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.